relive a cursed existence. But this is not a low tier in Steve. We didn't talk enough about what Nova has been bringing to the plate, and now we're going to get the opportunity to see KML's very own Nova against one of the best players in our region.
Yeah, Nova from Sova. I believe they practice a lot with Bullboard Bob. This Steve is
They run in packs.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of playing against this Steve earlier today, and I got hit with some of the nil combos. So Nova definitely no stranger to the tech. Hopefully we can see some of that being put on display here.
Real talk, that's like the worst thing about Steve as a character is that even like oh my god, get back here to 80 and die. But like it feels like every single Steve player, no matter if they're an O-Tour or a tournament, national tournament level threat, all of them know the tech. Like Steve mains are, every single one of them are lab monsters.
Yeah, they all, and they're one of, to give credit where credit's due, the most dedicated community at finding stuff out about a character. And with a character like Steve that, to be quite frank, breaks the game in so many ways, there's a lot to kind of discover and share.
For sure, we're already seeing some great trades right here, but the problem is that if I am Nova, I do not want to trade with Smub's normals. I need to beat them because at 82%, already Nova needs to be worried about losing a stock.
Yeah, and that Ridley nair is so big, very good at dealing with the minecart and just Steve trying to get in. You're going to see Smub throwing that out a lot along with that F-tilt. Ridley's kind of bread and butter.
Yeah, it is F-tilt, F-tilt, neutral air, F-tilt, neutral air. And we're seeing the F-tilt got that stock and the neutral air got the first one. So the character's tools are well and truly on display.
Yeah, and this is kind of what Ridley has become in throughout Ultimate's lifespan. Kind of as opposed to like some of the other big bodies where they're like big, powerful stray hits. Ridley's got large hitboxes that can kind of keep you out. Oh, with the gentleman.
No way the gentleman kills. But how did Nova take 130%?
Not lacking in that big damage output at all. Very dominant game for Smub. And we were talking a lot about Smub's kind of dominance. And Smub's got the experience versus Steve. Especially because I feel like a lot of players that really attend stuff, and Smub attends so much.
Everything.
You're going to run into a lot of Steves given how good the character is and given how common the character is. And so when you're a competitor of this caliber, you're going to put in the work, you're going to put in the due diligence against the character, and it showed.
Yeah, anytime you're facing off against the best character in the game, you need to understand every single trick this character has in the book. Otherwise, if you're trying to learn the matchup in the moment, you might find yourself in a very, very early trip to lose the bracket. As it stands, Smub doing a great job getting a ton of damage already, 88%, one up tilt. And that's really been the difference makers. The Smub's been able to get his two bases and win neutral a little bit more consistently than Nova. You wouldn't typically think Steve would be struggling to neutral in this matchup.
Yeah, and we saw in that first game, it was kind of close at the beginning, but once Steve is forced to kind of hit that approach, it can kind of start to spiral out of control really fast. We'll see if Nova can do a better job of taking this first stock this game than last game.
If I'm honest, I think the difference maker so far is that Nova is jumping in on Smub way too much. Like, you were seeing so many nairs connect.
Yeah, I think it might benefit Nova to maybe play a bit more passive, even when you're kind of down. You have 6 minutes. It's enough to try and get a little bit of your materials, but...
What just happened?
He
got dragged, the blocks exploded, he got knocked into the stage instead and sent
absurdly far for how low percent. And here you go, Steve with the up tilt, not gonna do any of the up airs after. Gonna keep doing the little macro there with the up tilt, but pretty even game right here. Smub has been doing a very good job of getting these early kills though, not letting Steve live for too long, which Steve definitely has the tools to do.
Part of the reason why Nova is really struggling here is that we have no iron on deck, no resources available to really change the game here. Give Steve that burst option with the minecart instead. It's a little bit of time to mine, only one iron block, rolls through the up smash. Does get the first hit back air and a second hit back air, I guess.
Yeah, and I really like Nova crafting with the gold there. Didn't work out, but when you're getting pressured so much like Nova is right now, sometimes you can't like save up that gold for a powered minecart. You have to use it to try and get the tools and maybe get even more materials faster.
Let's get literally anything.
Wow, that anvil gonna hit the strong hit of Ridley's wing, kind of just standing there, and this is an even game.
Ridley may not be too big for Smash, but certainly too big to actively dodge those hitboxes particularly easily. Feels like Steve's always going to get an ounce of blood in those spots. Neutral air yet again in the corner, gets intercepted and trying to go for minecart. Smub is calling out these minecarts so well.
Yeah, and this is kind of where Nova has struggled to close the gap. In this early to mid percent, Smub has gotten so many straight interactions to convert into each other. Gonna get the big F smash right there, and Nova's looking at a 2-0 deficit. Very good stuff from Smub. Very good stuff from Nova. That game was a lot more competitive than the first one. Hopefully we can see Nova maybe build upon that momentum and send this to a game 4.
Do you think that forward smash was on reaction? Because Smub ran up, Nova immediately spot dodged, and Smub's like, yeah, I got it though.
It could be. I think also when you see Ridley running up to you like that, it kind of forces you. It's so scary.
So
he can do that side B. He can do his pivot cancel F tilt. That's such a good option. He can do any of his aerials out of a dash in this game, and they're so big that you kind of sometimes you're worried and you got to spot dodge.
Only 50% from that Steve string, but just do it again. Now we get the customary 70-80%. So far untouched as Nova. Finally, Smub lands that first hit. This is exactly what we want to see. We want to see Nova get the percentage lead and then back off, but we haven't been able to get the back off yet as Smub just immediately gets the reversal and deals a ton of damage in return and takes the full stock. Nova got 2 good interactions, and then Smub just like, wait a minute, but what if I don't ever let you hit me again?
Yeah, and still, Nova hasn't landed a hit since that back air that sent Smub off stage after all the up airs, and here you go, good conversion off the minecart pop out with the nil F smash. Nova really needs to get this stock soon though if they don't want it to spiral like it did in game 1.
Does land that anvil, catching Smub, naring a wee bit too errantly. This is perhaps the smallest deficit that Nova's had in a minute. But again, tries to minecart out of the corner once, gets intercepted, again gets intercepted, again gets intercepted 3 times in a row. Now just going for the up Bs because we have no more iron, and look at the damage. Nova tried to force it back and loses a stock
and that F tilt sent Nova through like the little opening between both blocks. Really good angle there from Smub. And you know, I said this, but this game is kind of spiraling out of control when Ridley puts you into that situation. As Steve, that nair is so good for making you waste your resources and keep taking percent little by little, and suddenly that percent.
Have we seen a diamond yet? It feels like Nova's never had the opportunity to actually mine it up and use it productively.
No, I don't believe we have. And you know, when the difference between in a lot of these stocks is how early you can get the kill versus how early Smub can get the kill with like an up smash or a back air or something like that. Something like a diamond would go like a long way for Nova.
Yeah, it just feels like the differential in kill power has been on display here. Smub has had no problems taking stocks, no resources, gets the trump only into the nair, into the up smash. Nova, no resources, no chance to make it back.
Well, Smub putting on a clinic there.
And no signal.
And no
They've broken the stream.
And not only did Smub play really well, like in neutral, kind of not letting Steve get the whole setup going, but Smub did a great job of keeping Steve in the disadvantage, in the corner, off the stage, and forcing Nova to use up all the resources like we were talking about. No diamond the whole set.
No.
3 games, 0 diamonds, and that's not a recipe for success if you're playing Steve.
No, it just felt like the adaptation